Bonjour, hola, hello. Whichever way you say it, it still means the same thing. I'm Erin Schultens and this is Christina Smith and you're watching Wctv on Channel 17. Eggs, pancakes, maybe a piece of toast or a bagel on the run? How do you start off your day? Everyone knows that eating is a very basic yet necessary part to living. Your body can't function without nutrients that food gives us. Breakfast has been claimed to be the most important meal of the day because it gets you going. But how many kids here at the high school really take time for that meal, though? To get the answer to that question, we send it to Tara Grebner.
Tara? Tara! Did you have your breakfast this morning?
No. I usually have my breakfast in the morning. Not this morning, though. I didn't have
always make time for breakfast.
Eating a good breakfast increases your energy for the day. It also has an effect on concentration and gives you a better attitude towards school and work. If you always run out of time in the morning, try taking breakfast with you, like a granola bar or something else. Now let's check out why and if kids at the high school eat breakfast. Yeah, keeps me awake.
Sometimes my mom has the right kind of cereal that I like.
If you don't eat any breakfast, then you can't concentrate on your schoolwork during the day.
I enjoy Fruity Pebbles.
I'm usually really tired and grumpy if I don't have it.
It gives you energy.
Of course breakfast is an important meal. I eat it every day.
I did a survey on it in 6th grade and it's proven that you need breakfast.
If I don't eat breakfast, I'm like, just not good.
It makes me go, what?
During the day.
If it's there and I have time.
Do I eat breakfast? Yes.
It makes me awake.
Yes, I eat breakfast in the morning.
That's good. Do you?
Yeah.
Why do you guys eat breakfast in the morning? Does it help your day out?
Gives you energy for the rest of the day.
So you don't like fall asleep during class. And
what about the kids that don't eat breakfast?
No, I don't usually eat cereal.
I don't get to school till like 8 in the morning.
No.
I like those little circle ones that are like different colors. What are those called?
Most mornings, no.
No.
Why not?
Because it's gross.
Oh, I don't even come to school on time.
It's just food. Is it really just food? Nutritionists point out that breakfast is the most important meal of the day and helps to develop healthy eating habits and can last a lifetime. What about the teachers? Let's find out about them.
I never eat breakfast.
Helps tremendously.
Tremendously?
Because then I'm not hungry in the morning.
I usually just have a piece of toast or a Pop-Tart, but if I don't eat, it doesn't bother me.
Every day.
No, I'm not a breakfast person.
There's this rule, and it says, and you should all follow it. You need to eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, and supper like a pauper.
If I don't have breakfast, I am not a nice person. I become a very mean person.
sometimes, it depends on the day.
Researchers have found that 1 in 6 children do not eat breakfast, which means many young people are missing out on important nutrition. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that everybody should try to eat breakfast every morning because it really helps you physically and mentally.
Man, that sure makes me hungry. Hitting the drive-thru somewhere sounds really good. Let's go get some food. You can drive, can't you, Erin? You betcha. So while we hop out to get some food, we'll leave Joe Whaley here to fill you in on some of the cruising cars of WCHS.
Do you have a car?
No, I don't.
How do you plan on getting a car?
I haven't figured that out yet.
That's a good question.
Everybody knows that one of the most important parts of a high school student's life is getting their license. But without a car, the responsibility of a license is pretty darn useless. But who is paying for these cars? Is it the students or is it the parents? I went to the House Dub C to find out how the students get their cars.
How did you get your car?
With lots of work and money.
My dad got it for me.
How did you get your car?
From Texas.
How did you get your car?
My parents bought it for me.
I bought it myself.
How did you earn your money?
I worked for the Webster City Pool lifeguarding.
It's well known that not everyone pays for their own cars. Some people earn them through grades or are just fortunate enough to get one. But for the rest of us who paid for their own, I decided to ask what people think of kids whose cars are provided for them.
Their parents are nice, and I'll probably have to pay for mine, but I don't really have a job.
Well, I don't think they should be given one. Maybe they should, if they have a job, they should be paying for at least some of it.
What do you think about students whose cars are given to them?
I think they should give all their cars to me.
I think they probably wouldn't take as much care of them with their parents providing it than when they would pay for it themselves.
What do you think about kids whose cars are provided for them?
Get a job.
Somehow suck up to the person that's giving them to them so they can
Usually the kids that get the cars given to them have the nice ones that you want to ride with, so, you know.
For those of you planning on attending driver's ed this summer, I asked Mr. Ty when driver's ed's going to start, and why is it so important?
Well, I presume it'll start the Monday after school's out, and I suppose that hasn't been totally determined yet when school's out, depending on the snow days and so on, but somewhere probably the second week in June. Driving is a very serious responsibility, and hopefully, like anything else, why you ought to have some training.
Well, that's it for me. I'm putting it in neutral and pushing it back to you in the studio.
All right, now that we've had our food again, I'm ready to go. I just have one question for you, Erin. While we were driving, why did you hit the roof of the car? It's just one of those things when you see a padiddle. That's a car with one headlight, right? Right, so when you see one, you hit the inside roof of your car, and then when you get 3 padiddles, you get a wish. There's lots of superstitious things like that when it comes to driving. There's a lot of superstitions to everything out there. To tell you what we mean, we zap it to Erica Hood.
Beware the Ides of March.
On March 15, 45 BC, Julius Caesar was killed on this almost forgotten day. But the Ides of March is just a superstition. Or is it? Everyone has their own superstitions, from black cats, knocking on wood, and even salt over the shoulder.
Spilling the salt is very bad luck. Quick, toss some salt over your right shoulder.
So how superstitious is the high school? Well, I just went to some students and found out. Do you believe in superstitions? If so, why?
Yes, I do, because, I believe you can jinx someone.
How did superstitions get started?
Witches made them up.
Find out how superstitions got started, I went to Mrs. Ryan.
I think it's just learned behavior, that a coincidence happens and someone associates a certain action with a reaction, and then they believe it exists. Like if you wear a pair of socks and you win the game, they become your superstitious socks kind of thing.
Well, since the Ides of March is just a superstition, I went to the high school students to see if they even knew what it was.
It's when the gremlins come out and play with all the leprechauns.
The Ides of March is when Caesar gets his butt killed.
Some guy, fell down the stairs, and he's like, ah, there's a march.
The Tides of March is a dish soap that we sell at Fairway.
So what's the real meaning of the Ides of March? I went to Mr. Dorning.
The Ides of March, in this case, happens to be the 15th in our calendar. The Ides of any month is simply the middle of the month. So now, in the old Roman calendar, it was the 13th because obviously March only had 26 days in it.
Well, I don't know about you guys. The Ides of March can't be too bad. I'm still standing. I'm Erica Hood reporting for Wctv. Now back to you in the studio.
With all the superstitions out there, I wonder if the boys' basketball team has any. Well, I heard they shaved their legs for the game, but I don't know if that's a superstition. They're so good, they don't really need a superstition. To tell you exactly how good they are, we pass it up to Clark, who can give us the season's finale on both the boys' and girls' basketball teams.
Pump, pump, pump it up. Pump that Lynxman spirit up. Keep it down. Keep that opposing spirit down. The Lynx girls and boys have been doing just that going into the end of their season. The Lynx have been breaking hearts and killing dreams of several key opponents. For more on this year's season wrap-up on basketball, here are the stats coming right at you. The girls came into the end of their season on a huge winning streak, beating Humboldt 53-37, Algona 48-30, Clear Lake 47-38, Eagle Grove 70-46, and Clarion Goldfield 57-40. The Lynx thought that they must be butter because they were on a roll, but the butter slipped off the dish going into the final away games of the season, falling to St. Ed's, Iowa Falls, and Algona Bishop Garrigan. The Lynx still came away with a humongous North Central Conference victory, but had to share it with rival Algona Bishop Garrigan. The girls then went into districts, beating Humboldt handedly, but fell short to a very tough Denison team in the game before the barn. WCTV would like to congratulate the girls on all their great accomplishments this season, and now let's keep the credits bouncing on to the men.
A little disappointed that we couldn't win the North Central Conference Championship again like last year, but I do realize since we're going to state that we made up for that, and with our 14-8 record, I hope no one counts us out.
Well, we had some ups and downs early in the season, but at the end we got where we wanted to be. All I got to say is watch out for the cat at state.
The men played all their final games with a lot of enthusiasm, coming away with a monstrous victory over the Clear Lake Lions, 66-59. The next game, the bench got to be cleared versus Algona, winning 67-55. However, a big game versus Algona Garrigan didn't play out in Webster City's favor, losing a heartbreaker 81-80. The Lynx fought back hard though, going into districts with Algona coming away with a big win, 62-58. The next game, the Lynx played Humboldt, which should be an easy game, but showed to be a little more difficult than they had expected, but came away with a huge win, 56-45. The boys then played a very talented and gifted Carroll basketball program. The men looked to be outnumbered in the beginning with not only the talented Adam Haluska, a junior that is already committed to Iowa State University, but also the lack of fans in the stands. The Lynx rowdy fans eventually showed up for the demolishing of the Orange men, with the guys winning 70-65. Even more important, getting their first chance to play in the barn since 1985. Congratulations goes out to the entire boys basketball team on an outstanding season and making it to state. There's your season's wrap up on the boys and girls basketball teams of 2000-2001. I'm Clark Middleton reporting for WCTV. Now I'm passing the ball back to you.
As all the winter sports wrap up, so does the second trimester. So hang on, everyone. We're on the last third of the school year. Hopefully, most of your schedule's worked out and everything goes well. That about does it for us this week, so we'll catch you next week. Keep it real.
So you're standing on a ledge. It looks like you might fall so far down, or maybe you were thinking about jumping. That you could have it all if you learned a little patience. But though I cannot fly,